Today, getting back to your question, what about Kissinger's role?
Right.
Undoubtedly. See, this is where the center third of the book, Emerging Viruses, AIDS, and Ebola, goes into, is the social political background. No epidemic in the history of the planet has not been associated with some major uprising in social political, change.
Correct, okay.
And so what happened around 1968, 69, 70, that all of a sudden in the early 70s prompted this virus research, this virus development and testing, and then the contaminated vaccines as a result?
Right.
Well, it was very clear. I show you that this Department of Defense appropriations was most plausibly the outcome of Henry Kissinger's order to Melvin Laird. In 1968, when Kissinger took over as National Security Advisor under Richard Nixon, he almost immediately ordered Melvin Laird to do a reassessment of America's biological weapons capabilities. He was looking for alternatives to nuclear weapons. And the documentation in the Frank Church Congressional Inquiry into this whole illegal operations of the CIA, the storage of bioweapons, they incriminated Kissinger. The buck stopped, in other words, with Kissinger. Kissinger, in fact, it was testified by Richard Helms and Colby. It was expected that the CIA would be prepared for using these viruses as biological weapons in the quote-unquote gray areas of operation wherein, and quote, wherein they did not want the hand of America to show. And that area, again, interestingly enough, was Zaire, Angola, which is where Kissinger established the next great stand against world communism in 1964, 65, 66. And they set up Mobutu, of course, is in the news. He's just, fled from Zaire. It's just fallen into the rebels' hands. Well, again, all of this I show you in the book Emerging Viruses, AIDS, and Ebola was set up by the Nixon administration, and it's absolutely a horrifying story. Now, with regard to population control, again, it was Henry Kissinger, who, by the way, how he got to this position of not only ordering the deployment of nuclear weapons around the world, but also the development of these types of immune system ravaging microorganisms for germ warfare, was through his association with Nelson Rockefeller, who made Kissinger the Council of Foreign Relations Nuclear Weapons Study Group Director in 1955. Okay, right. So this is how it all fits in. Now, of course, the Rockefellers' connections to the cancer industry, they started the cancer industry, they basically created funded the American Cancer Institute, they created the eugenics movement, which is the racial differences, that led to the racial hygiene laws in the United States, and then, of course, the Hitlers. Rockefellers funded Hitler's rise, Rockefellers funded the commission reports that stated that only pharmaceutical medicine was to be allowed in the United States, the Flexner Report. And so, all of this I go into detail and show you that the Rockefeller-led military medical industrial complex now is a very frightening reality, and that Kissinger in 1971 penned the National Security Memorandum 200, wherein he stated for the first time that third world populations are the #1 risk to the United States' national security interests.
And they must be reduced.
And specifically, the nations that he stated needed to be targeted for population reduction are among the highest nations of HIV/AIDS today.
Isn't that something?